All right, today I'm interviewing Joey from Gentleman's Suite. Just a few questions, man, but you can start off by, just giving a few details about yourself if you can.
Yeah, I'm 35 years old, born and raised in Austin, Texas, man. I've been cutting hair for about 22 years now. Started out when I was 13 years old in mother's garage. Mainly how a lot of barbers do. They start off in the crib first, and then they move on. I didn't go to school until 10 years later. I decided to pursue barbering as a final kind of profession. I done tried everything else under the book, but the freedom that cutting hair gives you is something unmatched comparison to other kind of 9-to-5 gigs that a lot of people fall into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So after school, transitioning into like your first barbershop, can you tell us a little bit about that experience and how that was?
Yeah, man. Back in those times, I would say the design culture, when a lot of people were getting tight fades and doing designs on the sides, that was really popular. So I kind of I tried to find a barbershop that was more focused on that style. So I went to the east side of Austin, found me a little mom and pop barbershop, no more than maybe 6 chairs, so that I could focus on that aspect of the grind. Designs were done almost every day, probably on every other client at the time. Booth rent was something that I wasn't used to because I'm just coming out of school and you're trying to make money at the time, right? You haven't built a clientele yet. Like I said, I had been cutting for 10 years, so that wasn't the hardest part. But the shop that I went to was mainly focused on the urban culture, which I like to focus on as well back in the day.
Okay, cool. So as far as like the struggles, like what was I guess basically the easiest thing, it sounds like for you, like you already had your clientele.
Right.
So from your perspective of somebody that had their clientele but kind of moved into this shop, like what did you see in this shop that you have done differently with yours?
To be honest, man, the barber culture back in the day was a little bit different, a little bit more rowdy, if you will. I didn't get exposed to the more gentleman side of things until I became more mature in my life. So I would say, as a young adult coming out into a barbershop scene like that, the differences would be just the culture in itself, right? You go to a barbershop where there's a lot of, camaraderie and talking and, conversation being had, vibes being had, music being blasted, right? The feel that I went to for the Gentleman's Suite is something more elegant, more relaxing. And the clients that I've talked to said that they've actually preferred a more private interaction with their barber. There's not a lot of music going on. There's not kids talking. There's not people, being overly loud or having inappropriate conversations, what have you. The Gentleman's Suite experience is something that you can come to knowing that you're going to have a relaxing experience, something that you can actually unwind in and kind of have some silence in your mind when you're trying to enjoy your haircut.
Yeah, so like more
personal, right? Yeah.
Feel it, man. Okay.
That would be the biggest difference, I would say.
Okay. So when you first started cutting hair, what was the biggest struggle for you?
Honestly, man, there's a big learning curve when learning how to cut not only people's hair, but different type of textures of hair. Not everybody's texture is the same, right? And as learning comes along, you have to learn only by making mistakes, right? So fortunately, the clients that I had at that age, in 2003, I believe I was 13 years old, they were all my best friends, some people that I considered brothers, kids from the neighborhood I would play with, and they would let me experience. I would experiment with designs, experiment with longer hair textures, whatnot. But the struggle would be that you have to learn by making mistakes. That is your biggest struggle. You will not learn until you experience the lesson first, right?
Yeah. How about that, the prices?
Man, I was cutting hair at $5 a fade, and then when I went up to 10, I thought I was making it. Man. $10 a fade, $10 and a $5 design. Haircut would take me an hour and a half. I was making, I guess, regular minimum wage at that point, $7.50 an hour. You know what I mean? But to me, I thought I was making it because I would have a line of people coming to visit me at my mom's garage. And that was for a long time, man. When I started at 13, it stayed at 10, and I think it stayed at 10 for a couple years.
Has it been a struggle? Like, looking at what's going on and, actually, the little price raise that happened, maybe the start of 2023 and 2024. And, I know it's been hard for, people or society in general to, value barbers and understand why the prices are going up. Has that been, a big struggle for you? when it comes to your clientele and respecting the price increase?
Man, that's a great question, boss, because I deal with that all the time, man. I'm like, am I charging too much? Am I not charging enough? I done went up almost 100, 200% since I very first started. It was $15 for a haircut and beard, now it's 60.
Yeah.
So that's a huge increase. And I feel like the business side of it will take an impact once you have that jump, right? But the people that really respect your craft are gonna pay your price no matter what. So in hindsight, it's, a double-edged sword. You get rid of the clients that are not willing to pay your price, and that's okay, right? You can lose clients all you want, The right ones will stay. So the mindset shift is really where it's gonna be at when it comes to your pricing. If you say, this is my value and this is what you'll pay to receive my value, and you stand on that, then people respect you as a man and as a business owner.
Yeah, right. So, man, is there anything that you want to tell anybody that's, I guess, new in the barber world, but they passionate, got fire in them? Anything that you want to let them know before they hit a little block and could possibly become discouraged?
Yeah, man. Well, I will definitely say that the generations of barbering has changed, and that's a given with time. I will say that what I've seen now in this generation of barbering is that the focus is more on getting likes and being an influencer or having a social media presence with your business, which is good in all sense. But if that is your main focus and the quality of your craft is not your main focus, then that will, project in your work. So I would say, as a brand new barber coming out, focus on perfecting your craft, and the media and the social presence and the clientele will come naturally. You focus on being a better barber, you will get better clients.
For sure. So what's the goal for 26 for you?
Man, to be honest, me and my business partner are kind of ready to dabble into something that's in the barbering game, but a little bit out of left field, because it'll be something that him and I haven't really tackled before, but we have had previous clients that have come and requested the services, and those would be the new hair units that gentlemen are getting. Okay. A lot of men don't want to go to Istanbul and Turkey to get the surgery done. They would rather have something that they can maintain themselves here. And at the Gentleman's Suite, that's what we're going to provide by installing hair units and pretty much giving you a brand new transformation and new look with those hair units. We're going to offer memberships, we're going to offer packages, and pretty much just change people's lives. That would be the main focus of 26, is to make people feel a lot better about themselves.
Got you. Definitely looking forward to seeing that. Man, I appreciate you letting me interview you. It's always a vibe when I'm at the Gentleman's Suite.
100%, bro.
Last question, if there's anything that you want to, let anybody else know about you, before you get off the camera, man, go ahead and just shoot for it. Or the shop.
Well, a little bit about, not about me, but about a mentality and a mindset that I would say in barbering and in life is that you got to trust the process. You got to trust that everything will work out for you. Barbers do get a little slow in January because people are recuperating from bills and from the holidays and whatnot. But you can't let, the current circumstances dictate the way that your future is going to go. In reality, if you keep the mindset that you'll always be a winner, nothing can stop you.
Facts.
And that's on God.
Appreciate you again, man. This is
Appreciate you, big dog.
Over here at Barton Creek Square Mall, right inside Solar Salons. If you ever happen to be walking inside Nordstrom, look to your right. On the second floor, you see him right in here cutting hair. Just stop by. Appreciate you again.
Thank you, big dog.
Yes, sir.
Cheers, brother. Hell yeah.